Last week, I made a post describing how the capitalist system is a pyramid scheme, where people like us do all the work and the rich people who sit at the top of the pyramid keep all the rewards. Let's use pyramids again to conceptualize how much the rich are siphoning up from the rest of us. If we're talking about the share of income that the richest 1% take, in 2021, they took more than 22% of our nation's gross income before taxes and benefits. The richest 1% of income earners got more than 1/5 of the pyramid just for themselves. As recently as 1980, that number was only 10.4%. That's income inequality. But of course, the richest of the rich don't draw a paycheck like the rest of us. They live off their wealth. So how much of our country's wealth are the top 1% taking? About 30%. If this pyramid represents all of the wealth in our country, the richest 1% own about a third of it. The remaining 99% have to share the remaining 70%. But even this fails to capture the drama of the pyramid scheme that is capitalism. If you examine the richest 10% of the pyramid, they are taking 70% of the total. This means that the bottom 90% of Americans only hold about 30% of the nation's wealth. Wealth is measured in real estate, cars, cash, all of our worldly possessions. But stocks are perhaps the most telling indicator of how wealth hoarding happens in this society. Because critics will always be quick to say, but what about the 401ks and IRAs? The bottom 90% of Americans only hold 7% of the total stock market. The top 10% own 93% of the pyramid that represents stocks. So there are some visual representations of how our capitalist pyramid scheme is dividing up our nation's wealth. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the share that the rich take for themselves is too big, especially since we are the ones who actually create wealth from our hard work. We're also the ones who spend most of the money in our society with consumer spending. Consumer spending by us makes up 68% of US GDP, our national economy. Imagine how much healthier our economy would be if we had more money to spend, if we didn't allow the rich to take so much. Please don't forget to like, follow, favorite, subscribe, and repost, and sign up for my free Substack, where you can get more information in every post. Let's make them pay.